Today marks 1 year since the tragic crash of Air India Flight 171. It was one of the deadliest aviation disasters in recent history. On the 12th of June 2025, the London-bound Boeing 787 Dreamliner took off from Ahmedabad Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. Just 32 seconds after takeoff, it crashed into student hostels at the Biramji Jijibhoy Medical College. Of the 242 people that put on board, 230 passengers and 12 crew members, only one passenger survived. On ground, the crash claimed 19 lives and injured dozens more. In total, 260 people lost their lives in the tragedy. 1 year on, grieving families are continuing to await definitive answers as the final investigation report from India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau is still under scrutiny. With debates ongoing about the exact cause of the crash, the incident remains a somber reminder of the fragility of air travel and the importance of aviation safety. Captain Ehsan Khalid, aviation expert, is with us live on the broadcast. Captain Khalid, we still don't have concrete answers on what led to that tragedy. According to you, what has delayed this report?
Thank you for bringing me online for your viewers, and a sad day for us to remember the people who have lost their lives. Sadly, we have been able to, as an aviation community, we have been able to learn nothing out of it in last 365 days. If I was to say a pilot, what should he do to make the aviation safer? Because of the knowledge that we have gained from this accident is zilch, zero. It is not a very complicated accident to investigate because we have recovered the CVR, FDR, we have visual recording, we have CCTV recording, we have a live witness available. So there couldn't be anything more than what is already available to the investigation board. It isn't an accident where the aircraft has vanished over a sea and then it takes, 1 year to find out the wreckage. And here everything is right in front of you. In front of the eyes it has happened. And yet in 365 days, we have been able to give nothing worth learning from in last 365 days for a flight that was not even 32 seconds old. 32 seconds flight investigation in 365 days. The only thing that we have learned, unfortunately, is that investigations can be motivated. Investigations could be mutilated by interests. I'm not alleging that it is happening, but the fact remains that the facts of the accidents should have been placed on the table for public viewing. The only reason that accidents were not supposed to be in public domain was because there were, character assassinations of individuals that can happen. That has already happened, and it has not happened because of anything else, but because of this transparency, lack of transparency and secrecy shroud which is there, and leaking out of selective statements like, the CVR 2 statements. Did you shut it down or switch it off? He says, I didn't do it. If those two statements have come out, the only way those pilots can be actually cleared is by putting out the entire audio recording of the CVR in the public domain. Because the CVR records a lot of things. Not only talking, it also records the audio sounds inside the cockpit. And if there was a explosion sound or not, there is a live witness account. That person said that, he saw multiple color lights coming in the cabin, which is 100% indication towards an electrical storm building up in the aircraft. I don't see anyone except maybe your channel or someone going and talking to that lone survivor once. And thereafter, that person has been just taken out of the circuit. The most important evidence in this particular thing is the living person's account, who saw exactly what happened in the cabin before the accident.
Okay.
We have not debated into it. We have not deliberated into it. We do not know why the CVR recordings, the FDR recordings were not entirely decoded in India, probably with the help of, we don't know. We don't know how a battery or the inverter in the tail can be so mutilated while the tail itself is intact. That means, was there a fire post-impact or was there a fire before impact? So we don't know exact Second, when the RAT was deployed, ram air turbine, was it deployed at what instant? Was it before engine or after engine shutdown? We don't know that.
Okay.
So there are so many questions which could have, we're not talking about the
Absolutely. So many
investigation
questions,
report.
but still no answers is what you're clearly saying. Captain Khalid, also closure. Also closure, evades the families of the victims of that tragedy as well. When will they finally get closure?
Yeah, because one is losing your near and dear ones in an aircraft accidents, and the second one is the pain of probability of people actually lying to them. Okay, now that is very difficult. Everybody wants to close and move ahead, but really don't want to be under a speculation what actually happened, and that has caused pain, and I think it is something which should be understood by the investigation board also, because no matter who says how complicated it is, this investigation couldn't have been with more evidence right in front of everyone to see and analyze. And yet we have not been able to give a closure to those people who are grieving, and they will continue to feel the loss till such time. And as an aviation community, I feel every accidents, all these lives that were lost meaningless unless we have been able to learn something out of it and prevent it. If we learn nothing out of it, then their lives have actually gone waste. That is my opinion. Why, more than the closure, we must learn out of an accident why and how to stop it. Okay, and that can only happen when everybody is convinced that the investigation is fair, just, and
Yes.
data-based. This is the age of data. All the
Yes.
data is on your table.
Yes.
And yet we do not have a data-based investigation report on us,
Yes.
with us.
What kind of timeline are we looking at by when you believe there will be one conclusive finding on what really went wrong on that AI 171 which led to the crash? By when do you expect the final report to be out?
Okay, my experience shows that when there is a pilot error or an engineer's error, it's a human error on the operator, such reports are finalized within 1 year. When there is a bigger fish involved in it, depending upon how big the fish is, it can probably go on to even 5 years.
So do you then infer that perhaps there is more than just pilot error here?
Yeah, if there was pilot error, it would have been finalized probably in first 6 months.
Yes, but that is what the initial, as you said, leaks and that preliminary report suggested. After that, of course, we had the father of one of the pilots who passed away going to the Supreme Court as well. We saw the hue and cry from the Pilots Association as well. Do you believe that has led to a delay as well?
I think, it's very difficult in nowadays to manipulate the data if someone was doing it. And if you don't have the truth story on board, there is enough data to counteract it. Like, if somebody was to say that, someone switched off both the engines, okay, then how come the entire electrical system in the database, that is DFDR or the CVR, goes dead? Because it shouldn't go dead. What I mean to say is, if there is an electrical storm or there is an electrical explosion, it will lead to the entire database indicating towards that. If you just switch off the engine and then switch it on, so it's very difficult to tie up these two story ends if they are not correct. Okay, his father, Sabarwal's father, going to the court, and we as pilot community is standing for the justice to be done. Could be addition to it. Your effort as a journalist could be, but we are not in the business of supporting or defending someone. Let the truth come out the
Absolutely.
way it is, so that we learn out of it and nobody does this again. If it is a suicide story, put out all the CVR. A person who is going to commit. A person who is going to commit suicide,
yeah,
he comes for aircraft flying, he's
yes,
talking to people normally, he's
yes,
talking to dispatcher, all those things lead to a very different kind of a story.
Okay, my final question to Captain Khalid, do you believe this delay also and this lack of clarity still is also painting a poor picture of us in front of global aviation watchers and the community there?
I would agree with you almost 100% on this. That we have painted a very poor picture of ourselves as a professional organization. A serious aviation community does not like to be unnecessarily delaying things which are on the table. We have shied away from putting the data on the table. Okay. We have shied away from taking inferences out of data. And what we have gone ahead is talking to the neighbors as to, when was the divorce there, when was mother was,
Yes.
So we have actually gone on a very different tangent
Okay.
to prove what was the theory given on the second day. And 363 days thereafter, we have been trying to prove that the first 2 days theory was right, and the first 2 days theory was out even before CVR and FDR was decoded.
Okay.
Very sad. We learned nothing out of it, because there will be so many questions asked about its legality and its justice.
All right, we have to leave it at that for the time being, Captain Khalid, but appreciate your time, appreciate your perspective today on this very sad day, on the anniversary, of course, of that tragedy last year. Let's move